Tomorrow is the start of the Erie County Fair, Channel 2 Day also. It's hard to believe it's already opening for another season. And this morning, we're not only celebrating the start of the fair and celebrating Western New York, but we're also looking back on the earliest days of the fair.
Yeah, a mainstay of summer that got its start at a place where Western New Yorkers flock today. Believe it or not, Canalside, as we find out in this morning's unknown story of Western New York. Crews are busy setting up for another year at the fair, and this year they're celebrating a long history and a landmark year. It's the 150th in Hamburg. But the roots of the fair go much deeper than that and actually tie this location with another main attraction in Western New York.
Just a few years after the British burned Buffalo to the ground during the War of 1812, the farmers of Western New York got together and said, let's have a fair.
That was even before there was a city of Buffalo, and a year before there was even an Erie County. The first fair was held in 1820 when the village of Buffalo was actually the Niagara County seat. And then, like now, the waterfront is where the people were.
The Agricultural Society was formed in 1819, and then the year later we held our first county fair, which was at the site of Canalside.
Yes, the spot that has become the center of plenty of summertime activity was the site of the very first county fair.
That was the ultimate place to have the fair, to get together for a celebration.
A celebration of the harvest, but the start of something so much bigger.
The farmers thought it important to get together and really form a union, that agriculture was an important part of the economy of the village of Buffalo at that time.
The fair's location moved several times in those early years. The fair was also held outside the old courthouse, which stood where the Central Library is today, and covered much of what is now Lafayette Square. Next to the estate of Buffalo's very first mayor, Ebenezer Johnson, which was right across the street from where Channel 2 stands today. Johnson Park is named in commemoration.
But as the population started to grow and the farms started getting pushed out of the city of Buffalo, we started going to locations around Western New York, Lancaster, East Aurora, Springville, until we decided to call Hamburg home 150 years ago.
A long, interesting history, a huge summertime attraction, and another chapter in the unknown stories of Western New York.
Wow, it really is fascinating hearing about the early days of the fair. The pricing for tomorrow for Channel 2 Day is also taking us back decades. It's only $2 to get in tomorrow for the fair.
And even cheaper than that if you bring a can of food for a donation, you get in free. But of course, too, on your side, we'll have complete coverage of the day, the opening day of the fair, beginning bright and early tomorrow morning. We'll take daybreak on the road to Hamburg.